91, Deidara and the Red Sand Scorpion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Brother. Uchiha Sasuke looked sad, recalling the experience a long time ago. He once had a big brother who loved him very much, but, on the night of genocide, he lost everything. The big brother who used to love him is now his most hated enemy. Uchiha Sasuke gritted his teeth, with a hint of hatred in his eyes. Younger brother. What a sarcasm, boring family game. He prefers teacher Lu Xing to his fake family. Gaara is still protecting our Sand Shinobi village at the last moment. He has changed a lot. Please save him. Temari bent slightly, with a very sincere attitude. There was a hint of crying in the tone. When Gaara was fighting Deidara, he didn't use sand to protect himself, but he used all chakra to protect the entire Sand Shinobi village. Gaara is changing, and he also wants to be recognized by others. There's no need to engage in sensationalism, collecting people's money and eliminating disasters for others. Yagyu Satoru put his hand on Temari's small head, and said with a slight smile, even if there is a piece of skin left, I will bring it to you. Now that we have negotiated, let's go at number 17. Yagyu Satoru took out a lollipop, unpacked it, and threw it into his mouth. He picked up the 3 of the 7th squad and just as they were getting ready, they teleported away. Excuse me. Temari said. She couldn't understand how strong Yagyu Satoru was, but since Sand Shinobi Village's senior management valued Yagyu Satoru's strength, Yagyu Satoru should be very good, right? After all, I heard before that during the Chunin exam, Yagyu Satoru solved all the ninjas in Sand Shinobi Village by himself. Seeing Yagyu Satoru, Tsunade planned to take the 7th class together to carry out this extremely difficult task, so he stopped him and said, Xiaowu, the 7th class. The 2 members of Akatsuki's organization are both solid Kage-level powerhouses, capable of breaking through Sand Shinobi Village head-on. Therefore, the difficulty of this mission is judged as Super S rank. With the current strength of the 7th class, Yu Zhao's organization will undoubtedly die, especially Uzumaki Naruto, or the Nine-Tails human column bottle. If it falls into the hands of the Xiao organization, things will become very troublesome. It doesn't matter, I will take action. Yagyu Satoru raised the corner of his mouth slightly, with a frivolous smile on his face, and said with a confident attitude, with me here, these brats are safe. I in the past, except for Tsunade, he was not interested in saving anyone, even if someone around him died tragically. He always had the attitude of watching a show, but these brats, not as annoying as it was at first, the déjà vu of being a father. Pretty funny. Tsunade was slightly taken aback. She grew up watching Yagyu Satoru, and knew very well Yagyu Satoru's disregard for everything, but now, Xiaowu, a lot has changed. Tsunade smiled softly, be careful. Xiao gang, there's no need to worry, wash your ass and wait for my guy to come back. As soon as the words fell, Yagyu Satoru disappeared out of thin air carrying the 7th class. Tsunade's smile froze, a word, hashtag, appeared on his forehead, and he clenched his fist and hit the ground heavily. Lu Xingwu. Boom cracks appeared in the ground, and then the entire Hokage building collapsed. Clean ass. Has anyone teased their adoptive mother like this? One day later, on the border of the Land of Rain, in a vast forest, the Special Reconnaissance Team and others were hiding in the dark of the jungle, and they looked solemnly at a huge mountain in the distance. Ninja Parker wore a forehead protector and sniffed the ground with his nose. Subsequently, Parker raised his head and looked at Hatake Kakashi, who was beside him, and made a voice like an old man. Kakashi. According to the remaining breath on the ground, the members of the Akatsuki organization are in the big mountain in front. Hatake Kakashi nodded slightly, and said in a low voice, Parker, thank you for your hard work, you should go back first. Their remaining breaths contain strong chakra, you must be careful. After Parker said worriedly, it disappeared into a cloud of white smoke out of thin air. It can smell the ground breath, the remaining chakra in it, and these Xiao organization members, even the remaining chakra passing by, are very terrifying. Hatake Kakashi said, Niji. He is the captain of this special scouting team. Yes. Hyuga Niji's hands were in Madra, and several veins appeared on his temples. He used the clairvoyance ability of his white eyes to see the situation of Shanin in the distance. What catches the eye is, there were two men in black coats with red cloud patterns embroidered on them, and they seemed to be chatting. Gaara fell to the ground with no chakra flowing all over his body, already dead. Hyuga Niji conveyed in a deep voice, all that he saw with his white eyes, and said, "There are two people, Gaara from Sand Shinobi Village, without chakra flowing, it seems that, they are dead." Shiri Honlu frowned slightly, gritted her silver teeth and said, "What are you doing late?" "Two people. They should be members of Akatsuki's organization." Might Guy got up, took out a nunchaku, and said with a passionate smile, "Since we have found the enemy, let's fight together. He has no plan, and working hard is the plan. Mr. Guy, please wait." Hyuga Niji's complexion changed drastically, and he raised his hand to stop Might Guy, with a trace of panic in his eyes, staring at Deidara and the red sand scorpion on the distant mountain. The chakra of these two was horrible. "They are probably stronger than third Hokage." Hyuga Niji sees Deidara and the red sand scorpion through the eyes, with a very outrageous chakra area. The amount of chakra of these two people is much more than that of third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen in his lifetime. As soon as this statement came out, everyone present was slightly taken aback. The two members of Doshanshi, the members of the Akatsuki organization, may be stronger than the former, third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. That is to say, in the distance, the two members of the Akatsuki organization each have a strength that exceeds that of third Hokage. If this is the case, the Group 270 situation will become very troublesome. Hatake Kakashi squeezed his chin, and the dead fish's eyes showed thoughtful expression, and said in a deep voice, "First, send the location and information to Mr. Lu Sheng. We temporarily observe the enemy's movements. If they plan to leave, then we will hold them back. Since the members of the Akatsuki organization are likely to be stronger than Hokage, it is very likely that rash actions will lead to the death of teammates." He had previously lost two of his most important friends because of a rash action. Might Guy wondered, "What about Gaara?" Hatake Kakashi smiled and said, "Gaara is dead. We are attacking the enemy, and there is no way to change this fact. You are my important friends. Gaara is the mission, and people like Might Guy are his most important friends right now. This is youth." Might Guy gave a thumbs up, showing a very sunny smile, and his white teeth flashed with light. "We have been discovered." Hyuga Niji's heart trembled, and through the ability of his white eyes, he and the sand scorpion met each other's eyes. The enemy can actually perceive the white eyes, such a strong perception. "I heard that Nine-Tails Jinchuriki has already started to act, A clear and crisp young voice sounded from the sky. "P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets." I knelt down too. 92. Art is an explosion, drink. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The faces of the people present changed slightly, and they immediately pulled out kunai and turned around, looking up at the place where the sound came from. What catches the eye is, a pale giant dragon, flapping its snow-white wings, hovered above everyone's heads, and on the white dragon formed from clay, stood a man with long blonde hair. His blonde hair covered one eye, and he was wearing a black coat embroidered with red patterns. Rock Shinobi Village's S-Class renegade, Deidara. Deidara unintentionally exudes a huge chakra, which suppresses the audience, causing Might Guy and others to look heavy. With just this one meeting, the special investigation team and others have realized that Deidara is a very strong Kage-level powerhouse. What a fast speed! Hyuga Niji's face was ugly, and there was a hint of shock in his eyes. He had just seen through the white of his eyes, that the Deidara were in the cave, and just after this moment, Dala appeared in the sky above them. The speed is outrageous. "Hey, which one of you is Jinchuriki?" Deidara stood on top of the clay dragon, looking curiously at the special teams below. Jinchuriki wanted to capture him alive. He was so worried that he beat everyone in the special team to death. S-rank rebellious ninja of Rock Shinobi Village. Deidara, are you a member of the Akatsuki organization? Kurenai Yuhi held kunai in her hand. Her fair face was full of dignified color, and her beautiful bright red eyes stared at him vigilantly. "Deidara," Shihihong secretly said in her heart, "Deidara's chakra is terrible. I'm afraid it's at the same level as the previous Kisame and Uchiha Itachi. Even if it's bad, it's not that bad. Shao. Who knows what to do?" If there is no Jinchuriki, don't bother my art appreciation, eh? Deidara said. He was just admiring Gaara, who was killed by a dry bomb. Recalling the previous battles, I will rate the art of explosion. Full marks. All explosions are full marks. What is the purpose of your organization? Hatake Kakashi raised the forehead protector, revealing a scarlet 3-tomo Sharingan, and made a gesture with his hands behind his back. He told everyone with gestures, looking for an opportunity to retreat temporarily. It is not clear yet, the enemy's ability and strength. It will be very dangerous to fight rashly. After seeing Kakashi's gesture, the people present nodded slightly. Purpose? There's no purpose at all. It's just that someone entrusted me to create an explosion. Deidara took it for granted, and he made a seal with one hand. Deidara reached into the leather, and a mouth appeared in the palm, biting one after another to make it sticky. Deidara raised his hand, and spit out a detonating clay that looked like a doll from the mouth of the palm. Detonating clay C3 number 18, this is the move he used before to defeat One-Tail Gaara. At that time, he planned to use this move to blow up the entire Sand Shinobi village, but was blocked by Gaara with all his strength, so until now, he is still brooding. Let's appreciate it together. This is my work. C3-18th. Deidara threw the doll clay at the special investigation team and others. After the puppet clay absorbs chakra, it becomes the size of a small rock mountain. Everyone disperse. Yu Hihong and the others felt heavy. Seeing the infinitely approaching humanoid clay, they immediately jumped back and quickly distanced themselves from the humanoid clay. Art is all about explosions. With an excited smile on Deidara's face, the hand seal changed, and he yelled generously, "Drink!" That the clay of the boom puppet expands infinitely, the whole body exudes dazzling light, and then forms a violent explosion. The entire forest was wiped out, and a huge pothole appeared on the ground. Black smoke billowed and stirred, and raging flames beat like huge waves. Black smoke and flames rose from the ground, and the two merged into one. A small mushroom cloud. Just this one blow is powerful for 100 days. Deidara stepped on the dragon, looked down at the destroyed forest below, smiled with satisfaction, and said, "It's perfect." Deidara, don't go too far, our identities need to be kept secret. The red sand scorpion appeared next to Deidara. He was lying on the ground like a scorpion. From the appearance, he was an ugly human-shaped scorpion. The red sand scorpion made a deep and hoarse voice, saying, "A puppet with eternal life is the supreme art. Since you are both creators, I respect you very much." Deidara paused slightly, and said with a serious expression, "Art is beautiful but short-lived. It is called beautiful when it disappears. My art is the moment of explosion, which is fundamentally different from Shidan's surprising puppet comedy." Deidara appreciates the art of scorpions, but he believes that the moment of explosion is the supreme perfect art. "Let's go," the red sand scorpion said in a deep voice. "Before Yagyu Satoru arrives here, let's go to the next hiding place." He knew that Shirihong and the others had already transmitted their location to Lu Sheng. Yagyu Satoru is very powerful and has a very special blood succession limit. Yagyu Satoru, the man who is rumored to have the strongest blood successor limit. Deidara said with a confident expression, "Shidan, we are the Cold Akatsuki organization. You worry too much, and you will lack mystery and ruthlessness. Okay. My art is far above Lu Sheng's language, that he believes that his ability should be the strongest blood successor limit in the ninja world." Suddenly, Might Guy appeared behind Deidara and the red sand scorpion. Veins appeared on the surface of his skin, and a burst of cyan and blue steam burst out from his whole body. 8 inner gates, 6th gate, open. Might Guy disappeared out of thin air, punching the red sand scorpion flying. 8 inner gates. What a fast speed. The scarlet sand scorpion flew out of the sky, with cracks appearing all over its body. Towards the peacock. Might Guy chased after the red sand scorpion, his fists quickly hitting the air, rubbing the air with his fists, creating a high-temperature flame. Every punch produced a very high-temperature flame, and all the flames blasted violently towards the red sand scorpion. Boom! The whole body of the red sand scorpion split open, flew a long distance and landed heavily on the ground, creating a small hole. You are too careless, Zairina. Deidara formed a seal with one hand. The centipede that detonated the clay turned into a centipede wrapped around Might Guy's whole body. Clay that will explode. Might Guy's limbs trembled violently, shaking the clay centipede to pieces. Deidara shouted, "Drink!" Bang! The centipede split apart, forming a small explosion that sent Might Guy flying. Might Guy rolled in the air and punched, and landed on the ground safely. In the defense of the sixth gate, he was not injured at all. A pale blue beast, in the small pit, the shell of the red sand scorpion cracked, revealing a body as clean as jade. From the appearance, it was just a boy of 15 or 16 years old. Resisting a blow from Might Guy and still being unscathed, that everyone in the special investigation team showed a bit of shock when they saw the red sand scorpion Haufa accidentally injured. Might Guy's blow just now was as powerful as an S-class fire style, but the red sand scorpion was not injured. Akatsuki organization is really scary. The special investigation team, Zhao Noa's, was injured. Although they were useful just now, Earth-style carried out a large-scale defense, but they still couldn't do anything. They completely defended against the explosion of C-318. Hoha, I hope it can last a little longer. Hatake Kakashi breathed heavily, with cold sweat dripping from his forehead, and stared at Deidara in the sky with Sharingan. He just used massive earth style and consumed a lot of chakra in one go. Due to the Sharingan, he has a very small amount of chakra. Enlightenment. Yuihong clutched her bleeding left arm, looking at the red sand scorpion and Deidara vigilantly. Just after Might Guy, the opening of the calendar day of the sixth gate, she can judge that with the strength of the reconnaissance team, she will fight against the two members of the Shao organization. Almost no chance. Even if Might Guy can stop one of Akatsuki's members with all his strength, there is no way to deal with two Kage-level powerhouses with strange abilities at the same time. All they had to do was to hold back the two Akatsuki members and wait for Yagyu Satoru to appear. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down. 93, Lei Ketu, art will never fail. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before things get too troublesome, I should get serious. The red sand scorpion was wearing a red cloud coat, with red hair swaying in the breeze, and an expressionless face, looking at Might Guy and the others present. The voice is full of emotions, but the face is like a puppet, without any emotional fluctuations. He could feel that Might Guy, after opening the sixth path's door, had a very strong strength. If he didn't make a serious move, the two of them would probably fight a protracted battle. Finally dragged until Yagyu Satoru appeared. He was a little wary of Yagyu Satoru's strength. After all, Yagyu Satoru defeated Itachi before, and even captured Kisame alive. Scorpion, no matter how many times you look at your true face, it still feels very funny, yes. Deidara looked at the red sand scorpion below with a curious expression on his face, and when he saw the latter's face, he was slightly taken aback. A look of doubt flashed in his eyes. Xie Dan's face last time was an uncle, right? Why did you become a teenager this time? Is this the eternal art of Shiran? Deidara, stay away from me. The red sand scorpion took out a scroll, and as a white smoke rose, two puppets appeared out of thin air. Ah! Deidara's face changed slightly, and he said angrily, you should leave the stage. My art has just begun. He's on the rise now, and Scorpion actually let him go. What a joke. He also wants to show the special investigation team more gorgeous art. The beauty of Eternal 967 is art, and explosions tend to vent emotions. The red sand scorpion moved his fingers slightly, and two puppets in the shape of a man and a woman floated in the sky in front of him. The appearance of these two puppets is the father and mother of the scorpion of Unsand. Ha! Even if it's you, I will be angry too. Deidara's forehead appeared with a character, and a trace of anger flashed in his eyes. In front of the special team and others, the red sand scorpion and Deidara started a heated argument. One thinks that the eternity of puppets is the most beautiful art, one thinks that the moment of explosion is the most shocking art. What's going on? Did they ignore us at all? Hyuga Niji clutched his bleeding abdomen, breathing heavily. staring vigilantly at the two of Akatsuki who were in the distance. The special team is in the period of being enemies with the Akatsuki organization. Akatsuki organizes the two to start arguing. This is completely ignoring their special team and others. Deidara's abilities are very troublesome, and another member of the Akatsuki organization seems to be good at manipulating puppets. Yuihong looked at them vigilantly, and selected the two Akatsuki organizations. Kakashi, the Akatsuki member who controls the puppet, will be handed over to Guy for the time being, and we will be responsible for holding back Deidara. Yuihong said. Hatake Kakashi nodded slightly, and said in a deep voice, "Let's act." He could see that the Scarlet Sand Scorpion and Deidara, two solid Kage-level powerhouses, seemed to have no teamwork at all. This is a good thing for them. Fierce quarrels, everyone has their own ideas, everyone wants to surpass each other, this is the real youth. Might Guy gave a thumbs up, showing a sunny smile, and his white teeth flashed a gleam. Looking at the two of you, I recalled the youth when I was running hard in the sunset with Kakashi and Yagyu Satoru. Might Guy stuck his back and a picture appeared in his mind, totally fictitious. Zidana, let's prove it, whose art is more valuable, Deidara reached into the leather goods, biting the detonating clay in the palm of his mouth, watching emotionally. Yuihong and others below, he could see that Shirihong and the others were planning to split into two groups to hold him and Xia back. Leave the blue beast to me. The red sand scorpion moved its fingers slightly, and the two puppets held the blades and quickly slashed at Might Guy. The two sides began to fight. At this time, Zhengshen, Hatake Kakashi, BHDJ, disappeared instantly and appeared behind Deidara. Raikiri. Hatake Kakashi used Sharingan, staring at Deidara in front of him, and a light blue chakra emerged from his palm. There was a razor-sharp thunderstorm flowing in chakra. This is his strongest move at the moment, and he doesn't have much chakra left, so he plans to use this move to decide the winner. Deidara jumped sideways, dodging Raikiri's killing blow, and he looked at Hatake Kakashi's Sharingan with a tinge of anger. Quick! Hatake Kakashi frowned slightly. Sharingan. Deidara's face was ugly, and he gritted his teeth tightly, and the picture of being Uchiha Itachi in the past appeared in his mind in just a few seconds. Those eyes, damn Sharingan. Are you from Uchiha too? Deidara said, with a tinge of anger in his voice. These eyes are not surprised at the sight of my perfect art. It's completely blind to my art, eyes. I can't stand it. Deidara hates Sharingan because he once lost to Sharingan. He even transformed his left eye into a machine to fight against Sharingan, and then specially practiced how to deal with Sharingan. He really hates Sharingan because it negates the existence of his art. Come on, let you die on my art. From the mouth of Deidara's palm, a large piece of small clay spider spit out, when he was just about to seal the seal. The pale pink sakura petals rain down from the sky, and the clay dragon turns into a huge pink lotus. Everyone disappeared, only Deidara was stiff and stood on the top of the lotus in a daze. Magic Sanju Sakura. Yuihong appeared out of thin air, on the top of a huge lotus flower, her white hands maintaining the knot seal. Magic Sanju Sakura is her strongest move at present. Damn! I fell for someone else's trick. Deidara's mechanical eyes shrank, and his hands gradually regained their sense of touch. In order to defeat Uchiha Itachi's Sharingan, he had practiced hard on how to effectively resist illusions. Kurenai Yuhi yelled, Kakashi, that without hesitation, Hatake Kakashi seized the moment and leapt towards Deidara's heart with Raikiri. Drink! Deidara formed a mudra with one hand, and chakra flowed in along his feet, inside the pale dragon, and he planned to detonate the dragon under his feet. The giant dragon has the power of C2 level, and its power is enough to blow up several small rock mountains, but the dragon didn't explode. How is it possible? My art won't fail. Deidara's face changed slightly, and then he vaguely saw a light blue current flowing on the surface of the dragon's body, lightning style. It turned out to be lightning style. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down. 94, 8 inner gates, the 7th gate opens. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I've seen through your moves. Hatake Kakashi moved quickly, and Raikiri thrust towards Deidara's heart, and his Sharingan had already seen through Deidara's attributes. All of Deidara's moves are earth attributes, and the thunder attribute just restrains the earth attribute. The electric current emitted by Raikiri can prevent the explosion of clay with earth attributes. For a moment, Deidara jumped back, avoiding the fatal blow, but his arm was severed by Raikiri. Hoha. Hoha. Hatake Kakashi breathed heavily, the lightning in his palm dissipated completely, and he had used up all of his chakra, earth-style, Sharingan. Cut, the continuous large consumption has caused him to have no blue. Red, now is the time. Hatake Kakashi stared warily at Deidara in the distance with dead fish eyes. Kurenai Yuhi didn't hesitate, and cut to Deidara because of suffering. Negiate my art. I don't allow such eyes. Deidara ignored the pain of the broken arm, and it was the only hand seal. Buzz countless small spiders crawled towards Shihihong and the others. Oops. Hatake Kakashi narrowed his pupils, looking at the dirt spiders crawling all over his body along his legs. This is Deidara just now, throwing out a lot of spiders. Drink! Deidara yelled. Bang! All the soil spiders exploded, and patches of black smoke ignited in the sky. Yuihong and others were directly blown out, and after flying out, they landed heavily on the ground. Ahem. Yuihong fell to the ground, with scarlet blood flowing all over her body, and a thick black smoke spit out from her mouth. She followed suit as a special jonin, but she couldn't resist the personal explosion. Just now, every spider has the power of detonating talisman. Stacked together, it is powerful for 100 days. The strength is too poor. Hatake Kakashi was seriously injured. After he got up with difficulty, he fell to the ground before he could stand still. He ran out of chakra and was seriously injured, so he no longer had the strength to continue fighting. There is no way to make a huge gap through the attribute mutual restraint and mind. Deidara has a Kage-level amount of chakra, capable of engaging in prolonged battles of attrition, and because of this huge amount of chakra, it can also cause Deidara to use it all the time, a large-scale violent explosion. The difference in strength is indeed too great. I won, you guys are really useless, eh. Deidara held his bleeding arm and looked at Yuihong and the others below with a mocking smile. One, finally able to win a Sharingan. Kakashi, Hong. Might Guy dodged the puppet's attack, turned his head to look at Yuihong and the others in the distance, and saw that both of them were seriously injured and fell to the ground. Might Guy's face gradually became serious, with a trace of anger appearing in his eyes. Although he has always had a good temper, how could he not be calm after seeing his best friend seriously injured? Deidara, completely eliminate the enemy, don't leave anyone alive. The red sand scorpion expressionless, glanced at Yuihong and others in the distance, and said in a deep voice, I want to add them to my collection and make them into eternal art. Deidara has a problem, that is, he rarely makes up the knife. Every time the two perform missions, it is the red sand scorpion who makes up the knife. That's the only way to do it. Might Guy's face darkened, and veins appeared on the surface of his skin. If the stalemate continues with the enemy, Kakashi and others will die. That's the only way to go. Door. Although the seventh gate has a great auxiliary effect after opening, if the enemy cannot be dealt with in a short period of time, after the seventh gate disappears, the whole body will be unable to move, but in order to save his most important friend, he can only open the door and gamble. 8 inner gates, 7th gate, open. Might Guy's skin turned dark red, and his whole body exuded an energy like blue steam. Takes Might Guy as the core, cracks appeared on the ground, and eventually turned into a small pothole. Only this steam can shake out a pothole, which shows how strong his 7th gate state is. After he opened the 7th door, he was 2 or 3 times stronger than ordinary Kage-level experts. Guy, that the faces of all the people present changed slightly, and they looked at Might Guy with a shocked expression on his face, who was exuding blue steam all over his body. Hatake Kakashi and others are very clear that after Might Guy uses 7th gate, there will be great side effects, which will cause muscle stiffness all over the body in a short period of time. When Might Guy uses this trick, he is completely betting. If the enemy is not resolved, the special investigation team will be completely wiped out. Teacher Guy, so strong. Hyuga Niji's eyes showed shock, with an expression of disbelief, looking at Might Guy, who was exuding blue steam all over his body. Using his supercilious ability, he is able to see inside the Might Guy. Might Guy's current life energy is twice as much as Deidara's chakra. *NTT, it was the first time he saw Might Guy in such an outrageous state. Niji, take them away. Might Guy gritted his teeth and endured the severe pain. He didn't move now, and the muscles all over his body were in pain like a knife. Yes, Mr. Guy. Without hesitation, Hyuga Niji quickly ran towards Yuihong and the others. He knew that with his strength, staying here would be a hindrance. You're hindering my appreciation of art, and now you want to slap your ass and leave after beating? Deidara controlled the dragon and slammed into Hyuga Niji quickly. Gentle Fist Method 8 trigrams 64 palms. Hyuga Niji's heart trembled, and he spread his hands and feet in an offensive posture. Even if the gap in strength is too large, we can only bite the bullet. Asshole, the Buddha can only endure 3 times. I will decide the cause of your death, Deidara formed a mudra with one hand, and the ear dragon spit out a large piece of detonating clay from his mouth. The blue figure flew over like a meteor, and then Deidara was kicked out, his abdomen was torn open, and a piece of scarlet blood spit out from his mouth. With just this kick, all internal organs are trembling. This is art. After landing on the ground, Deidara got up and clutched his painful abdomen, looking at Might Guy in the distance with a surprised expression on his face. What happened to thick eyebrows? Was it elite Jonin level just now? How did he suddenly become a fishy man with Kage level strength? 8 inner gates. I seem to have heard of it before, but I don't seem to have heard of it, in short. This thick eyebrow is a bit troublesome. Hiss. Everyone in the audience gasped, with shocked expressions on their faces. Neither the enemy nor the teammate could clearly see Might Guy's super fast-moving speed. Everyone in the audience understood very well that neither teleportation nor teleportation was used, relying entirely on the speed of the physical body. It achieved the effect of teleportation out of thin air. After opening the 8 inner gates, you can increase your strength in a short time. I didn't expect that among the current ninjas, there are people who can open the 7th gate. The red sand scorpion looked at Might Guy, whose body was emitting blue steam in the distance. He had seen 8 inner gates before, and was well aware of the side effects of 8 inner gates. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, to kneel. Where? 9-5 7th gate is defeated, Kakashi will use Mangekyō. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But you don't seem to be able to last long. There is no art in this trick. The scarlet sand scorpion took out a scroll, and after opening the scroll, a white smoke rose, and then a puppet with the appearance of 3rd Kazekage appeared out of thin air. After he made a puppet from a dead person, the puppet can use the blood inheritance limit of his life. He is the only one in the whole ninja world who can endow puppets with blood succession limits, so he is a real genius in terms of puppets. Magnet style, sand iron Shiyu. The red sand scorpion moved its fingers slightly, and the 3rd Kazekage puppet clasped its hands together. Buzz, the ground shook violently, and a large piece of black sand and iron rose from the ground, hitting the Might Guy in the distance like a huge wave. Boundary of blood succession. Keep your eyes open. This is a move I developed to save the 2 geniuses, Yagyu Satoru and Kakashi. Might Guy folded his hands together, the space around his body was twisted into a spiral, and the palms of both hands 040 were compressed, creating an ultra-high-density airflow. Day Tiger, that the ultra-high-density airflow flew out and turned into a giant tiger's head. Wherever it passed, the air screamed and the space vibrated violently. The giant tiger head flew like a huge wave of sand and iron, and the airflow it splashed out shook all the surrounding rocks and mountains, which shows how powerful this move is. Magnet style, sand iron wall. The red sand scorpion's finger moved slightly, and the seal of the 3rd Kazekage puppet changed. A large expanse of sand and iron surged up, forming a solid wall in front of the red sand scorpion. Boom! The huge tiger head shook the sand and iron wall. The 3rd Kazekage puppet was wiped out. The red sand scorpion was swallowed by the day tiger, and cracks appeared all over his body. Finally, the red sand scorpion was reduced to ashes. So strong. Guy, are you trying to hit me? Hatake Kakashi looked at the red sand scorpion that had turned into ashes with his dead fish eyes, recalling what Might Guy said just now. Might Guy said this trick was prepared for him and Lu Xingqiao. Mr. Lu Xing can defend, but he can't defend. Might Guy uses all his strength to attack Day Tiger. Is Might Guy planning to kill him in one go? Deidara didn't panic, looked at the ashes of Xie, and said speechlessly, Xie Dana, you died so casually, I will worship Buddha and mourn for you, Double attacking teeth. Might Guy didn't stop for even a second after finishing off the red sand scorpion, holding the nunchaku in his hand, and smashed heavily at Deidara. He is out of time. With his current physical body, he can only maintain the 7th gate state for 3 minutes, and after 3 minutes, he will lose his combat power, so we have to race against time. What a shocking art! Deidara's pupils shrank, and when he was about to use the instant dodge, the nunchaku completely distorted the space around him. As a result, he couldn't use the instant body. If he was hit by Might Guy's move, he would be disabled even if he didn't die. Suddenly, Might Guy's complexion changed drastically. A large amount of blood spit out from his mouth, his whole body stiffened and fell heavily on the ground. The steam covering his whole body slowly disappeared, the skin on the arms gradually turned dark purple. What's going on? Might Guy looked confused. Phew, the gods will be scared to death by you, huh? Deidara breathed a sigh of relief, and glanced at Might Guy's purple right arm. Is Scorpion Dana poisonous? He just used microclay to blow up the muscles inside Might Guy, but it was never expected that Might Guy resisted forcefully, and finally Might Guy fell to the ground because of the poison of the red sand scorpion. This Might Guy was still so strong after his muscles were blown off just now. What a monster! The previous poison is only taking effect now, and your body is stronger than the shadow. The red sand scorpion healed all over, and there was no bloodline on the whole body, and there was not even a skin trauma. His body is a puppet. Even if it turns into ashes, it doesn't weigh much. Anyway, there are a lot of spare puppets. Intelligence gap. Might Guy's attack on the Day Tiger just now was indeed able to kill the red sand scorpion, but it was lost in intelligence. The real body of the scarlet sand scorpion is a lump of flesh at the heart. If Deidara was the one who hit Dehu just now, Might Guy would be perfect to deal with a member of the Akatsuki organization, but it's a pity. Are people from the Akatsuki organization so strong? The blow just now couldn't even hurt you. Even Might Guy was shocked when he saw the unscathed red sand scorpion. Color, he hit 7th gate with all his strength, but he couldn't defeat the scarlet sand scorpion, and he couldn't even hurt it in the slightest. It's outrageous. The difference in strength is so big. Yu Hihong knelt on the ground, clutching her bleeding arm. Her bright red eyes gradually widened, and she looked at the red sand scorpion in the distance with an expression of disbelief. Might Guy's blow just now had full Kage-level power, but it couldn't even hurt the red sand scorpion. Enlightenment. Could it be that the members of the Akatsuki organization have the strength of Yagyu Satoru level? If this is the case, then the Akatsuki organization is enough to overthrow the entire ninja world. 18-17512, the red sand scorpion has this strange feeling. What's going on? Yuhi Honglu frowned slightly, and carefully looked at the red sand scorpion. She felt that the scorpion was like a lifeless puppet, no mood swings, no signs of fasting. Yuhi Hong's eyes moved, and when she saw the heart of the scarlet sand scorpion, she was slightly startled. Could it be that heart? Kurenai Yuhi exclaimed, Guy, his weakness is his heart. Heart? Everyone on the scene was slightly startled, and looked at the heart of the red sand scorpion suspiciously. What they saw after entering their eyes was a mass of black flesh. The flesh beats like a heart. In other words, the red sand scorpion is a puppet, and the heart is the real body. Human beings have limits. I have surpassed human beings. Puppets are eternally beautiful. They will neither die nor grow old with time. It's meaningless for you to discover my weakness. It's too late. The red sand scorpion threw the red cloud coat aside, revealing a puppet body as clean as jade. With its back opened and a sharp propeller appeared. His weakness is the heart, but the special team discovered it too late. The only Might Guy who still has combat power, has been poisoned and fell to the ground, it's too late. Transform yourself into a puppet? This guy is crazy. Hatake Kaka 5.8 West's face was serious, covering his bleeding right eye. Are you going to use that trick? But I have very little chakra left. After using Mangekyō forcibly, I will die with all my strength. I will make you into puppets and become my collection of works of art. The propeller turned behind the red sand scorpion, and he leapt out to attack Yuihong. Hatake Kakashi's right eye was fixed, and the three-gold jade in his eyes turned quickly. He didn't hesitate any longer, because he didn't want to be there, watching his friend die. That one time, Lin, was enough. He intends to change his life for another. Red. Might Guy gritted his teeth and got up, enduring the pain in his muscles, the trembling of his internal organs, and the burning sensation from the poison, and planned to open the seventh gate again. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down. 9-6 Yagyu Satoru appears, performing hundreds of machines. You are listening at novelfull.audio. For a moment, all the fear in Yuhiko's heart disappeared, and she felt a very warm chakra nearby. When she was planning to stick to the information before, a very frivolous hero appeared. Do heroes really exist? She used to think that the only person she could rely on was herself. If there are heroes, why did her parents die? But she's seen heroes. I saw a very handsome hero. Shirihong gritted her silver teeth lightly, lowered her head and shouted loudly, Lu Sheng, are you still going to watch the show? As soon as she sensed Yagyu Satoru's breath, she knew it immediately. Yagyu Satoru is always there, but if he doesn't plan to make a move, he is watching a show. She has seen heroes, and she has seen a very handsome, but also very bad hero. Schwa. Yagyu Satoru appeared out of thin air, blocking the attack of the red sand scorpion with one finger. The red sand scorpion's hand knife stopped in front of Yagyu Satoru's fingers as if still. Don't be so excited, I'll look handsome if I show up at the last moment, right? Yagyu Satoru held a lollipop in his mouth, put his hands in his pockets, and looked at the red sand scorpion faintly through the sunglasses. What's more, these two members of the Shao organization are very weak. I thought you should be able to fight if you try to be brave. But I didn't expect that you are weaker. Yagyu Satoru looked back at the seriously injured Kurenai Yuhi, smiled slightly and said, sorry, I overestimated your strength. He was there from the very beginning, secretly eating snacks, watching the battle with the 7th squad. He really thinks that Might Guy and others can completely defeat Scorpion and Deidara, but even he never expected that Might Guy would use all his strength to hit the empty shell of the red sand scorpion. When Might Guy opened the 7th gate, the scarlet sand scorpion had already transferred its heart to another puppet. And besides him, no one in the room noticed this subtle behavior of the scarlet sand scorpion. Make the body a puppet, only the heart is moving. Yagyu Satoru glanced at the heart of the red sand scorpion, chuckled, how funny. Yagyu Satoru, the limit of your blood succession is very strange. The red sand scorpion jumped back, keeping a safe distance from Yagyu Satoru. His attack just now was blocked by the invisible defense. Is this Yagyu Satoru's blood succession limit? If Yagyu Satoru can be made into a puppet, it will become the most perfect work of art. You're so annoying. Yuihong bit her lips lightly, a trace of anger flashed in her eyes. They were fighting the enemy for their lives, and then Yagyu Satoru watched the show in secret. In the end, I didn't fight the enemy, and I was mocked by Yagyu Satoru as weak. It's annoying. Her hero is flirtatious and mean, but she loves him. It has nothing to do with strength, nothing to do with appearance. Just because she was in the lowest period of time, Yagyu Satoru unintentionally touched her frozen heart after the death of her parents. Mr. Lu Sheng, you are too slow. Hatake Kakashi breathed a sigh of relief, covering Sharingan with his forehead protector. He had just planned to forcefully activate Mangekyō at the cost of his life, exchanging one with the enemy limit. Yagyu Satoru sipped the lollipop lightly, and said with a light smile, if you keep relying on others, you will become a waste. Are you Yagyu Satoru? I heard that you have the strongest blood succession boundary. Deidara put his hand into the leather goods, with a very excited attitude, and said confidently, after seeing my art, you will definitely be shocked. Fireworks? I'm not very interested. Yagyu Satoru clasped his hands together and disappeared out of thin air. At the same time, Might Guy and others all disappeared, and everyone in the reconnaissance team, together with the 7th squad and others, appeared in the open space in the distance. The treatment is charged, 50,000 yuan per time. In the palm of Yagyu Satoru, a light blue chakra emerged, and healed Yuihong and others respectively. Everyone was speechless. After being detoxified, Might Guy regained his usual vitality and said with a hearty smile, "We are friends who sweat and run together in the sunset, right? Our youth is infinitely more important than money. I can heal the wound, but I can't heal the brain." Yagyu Satoru said speechlessly, "Where did thick eyebrows come from to fabricate memories? Lu Sheng, you are taking advantage of the fire." Yuihong pretended to be joking, looked at Yagyu Satoru with a smile, and asked, "Will you charge for the treatment of Master Tsunade?" That it looks like a joke, but she really cares about it. Who knows? Yagyu Satoru didn't answer Yuihong's question directly. He knew Yuihong's little thoughts, so he deliberately hung up Yuihong's appetite. "It's as if you didn't say anything." Shihong stuck out her tongue. Yagyu Satoru turned around and looked at Deidara and the red sand scorpion in the distance, clenched their fists and creaked their bones. 3 minutes. Play with you for 3 minutes. Yagyu Satoru said. He estimated the time. It will take about 3 minutes to solve Scorpion and Deidara. They are very strong, and we are responsible for covering you. Hatake Kakashi took out kunai and stared vigilantly at the 2 people in the distance, the red sand scorpion and Deidara. It's okay, if you fight the enemy while saving you, things will become very troublesome." Yagyu Satoru waved his hand and looked at everyone with disgust. "You guys sit here and explain while watching the show. My invincible strength will do." Yagyu Satoru glanced at everyone in the 7th class, and said, "Smelly brats, you should also be careful." "Okay, Teacher Lu Sheng." Everyone in the 7th class looked heavy, and they could all feel the terrifying chakra strength of the scarlet sand scorpion and Deidara. Very strong. 3rd Hokage is still strong. Teacher Lu Sheng actually wanted to fight Xiao Xiao, these 2 powerhouses beyond the 3rd Hokage level by himself. God! You are very calm, and you even took the audience to watch the show. The red sand scorpion's whole body changed, and its legs and arms respectively showed poisonous blades. Having the ability to be an audience proves my strength, right? What's more, you are weak. Yagyu Satoru put his hands in his pockets, raised his chin slightly, with a proud and mocking attitude. He is not arrogant, he is telling the truth. He really thinks that Deidara, and the red sand scorpion are weak. Tsuchikage's ability, Uchiha Itachi's ability, people with strange abilities can fight him. I will make you into a puppet and put it in my collection. The red sand scorpion took out 2 scrolls. Red secret technique, performance with 100 machines. Bang, pale smoke covered the entire venue, and 100 puppets appeared out of thin air, all of which were wearing red robes, suspended in the sky statically. Control 100 puppets at the same time. This guy, so scary, that everyone in the audience trembled, staring blankly at the red-robed puppet of Baidao in the sky. I have never heard of a puppet master who can control 100 puppets at the same time. This power is outrageous. I am afraid that it can break through a small country in one breath. Carrying so many toys with you, are you lacking in love and emptiness? Toys are not as useful as real people. Yagyu Satoru looked at a merchant puppet in the sky lightly. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down. I have a question, is that person in the comment area true or false? 9-7 performance with 100 machines. It hashtag 039, yes, just a toy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Toy? That everyone in the 7th class was slightly stunned, looking at the 100 puppets in the sky. They could feel that each puppets contained a lot of chakra, almost at the Chunin level. 100 puppets are equivalent to the combat power of 100 Chunin, but Teacher Lu Sheng actually said that these puppets with Chunin's combat power are toys. God! Now that we know the enemy's weakness, let's go up together. Might Guy endured the pain in his muscles, and stood up tremblingly with his legs. Due to the backlash from the 8 inner gates, it is very difficult for him to stand even now. Guy, we are all in poor condition, even as a support is not helpful. Hatake Kakashi was pale, kneeling on the ground and watching weakly. Yagyu Satoru's back in the distance, although his injuries were healed, chakra was exhausted and is still very weak, let alone him, except for the 7th squad, everyone in the special investigation team present is in a weak state. To help in a weak state is completely a disservice. How can I just watch? My best friend is in danger alone. As a friend, even if you are trying to be brave, you have to do your part. Might Guy gave a thumbs up and forced a smile. His white teeth were all exposed trembling. Yuihong looked at Might Guy's state. Even standing up was very difficult, she said with a speechless face. Guy, just take a rest. Lu Sheng is very strong. Yuihong looked at Yagyu Satoru in the distance, and in her eyes behind Yagyu Satoru was the safest shelter in the world, because as far as she knows, none of the 5 ninja villages can repel Yagyu Satoru head-on. Are we going to watch the show all the time? Hyuga Niji looked ugly, staring coldly at Deidara and the red sand scorpion in the distance. He used to think he was a genius, the strongest existence among all genin. He is also the only one who has been specially promoted to Chunin among all genin, but when he walked out of the village, he found that this world was very far away. He used to be proud of his strength in genin. In front of the real Kage-level powerhouse, they are ants that can be crushed to death. Idiot, you will be delayed if you go. With his hands in his pockets, Uchiha Sasuke glanced indifferently at Hyuga Niji with a grim expression on his face. He has always wanted to compete with Niji and prove to everyone that he is the strongest in genin, but, first Niji was promoted to Chunin, and then lost to Naruto. Sasuke is very arrogant, he can't tolerate such things. Are you Uchiha Sasuke? I heard that you are a genius. Hyuga Niji raised his mouth slightly, showing a mocking smile, and he could feel Sasuke's hostility. Uchiha's power is much stronger than your so-called white eyes. Uchiha Sasuke proudly said. The two looked at each other with hostility in their eyes. Uzumaki Naruto glanced at Niji, then at Sasuke, looking back and forth between the two several times. Why does everyone pay attention to Sasuke after seeing Class 7? What's so good about Sasuke, a pushy and stinky guy? Me, you guys, remember, I am Uzumaki Naruto. I will become Hokage in the future. Uzumaki Naruto pushed the forehead protector, and looked at Hyuga Niji with a firm smile on his face. He also wanted to show off in front of little Sakura. Hyuga Niji frowned slightly, with a hint of sarcasm in his eyes, and said with a cold smile, Hokage is the strongest person in the village. How can you become Hokage? Uzumaki Naruto pointed at Niji and said angrily, listen to me, you stinking bastard. It's Hokage to be recognized by everyone. In the past, Grandpa 3rd generation always told him that Hokage is the one who can be recognized by everyone. The tail of the crane is the tail of the crane, and no one can change fate. Hyuga Niji pointed his thumb at the green vest on his upper body. With a haughty attitude, he sneered, be a Chunin. You bastard. Are Chunin strong? Then I'll beat you right here, and become Chunin in one go. Uzumaki Naruto threw himself at Hyuga Niji with anger in his eyes. This Hyuga Niji is even worse than Sasuke. Naruto, Niji, Sasuke, can you please be quiet? Kurenai Yuhi smiled crookedly. The smile was soft and elegant, but it gave off a sense of danger. Behind him seemed to be suffocating black air, throwing the children present. They were terrified. Yagyu Satoru is fighting the enemy, and these kids are messing around. Cut. Uzumaki Naruto's heart trembled, and he sat cross-legged on the ground with his hands folded in front of his chest, looking at the back of Yagyu Satoru in the distance. He was still quite afraid of the evening sun. That's right, Naruto, please be quiet. Haruno Sakura glared at Naruto and accused, Mr. Lu Xing specially took us on this mission this time because he wanted us to watch the battle of Kage-level powerhouses. Sakura-chan, why do you only talk about me? Uzumaki Naruto had an aggrieved attitude. It was obviously caused by Niji and Sasuke. Why did Sakura only talk about him? Is teacher Lu Xing okay alone? Even if he is strong, he can't help it. He can deal with 2 Kage-level strong people at the same time. Hyuga Niji looked at the battle situation in the distance with his white eyes, and said solemnly. What's more? These two members of the Akatsuki organization each have a chakra that exceeds the Hokage level. A frog at the bottom of a well has very little knowledge. Uchiha Sasuke snorted coldly. Any tricks are meaningless in front of Mr. Lu Sheng. Although he likes to pretend and has an arrogant and indifferent personality, he respects Yagyu Satoru from the bottom of his heart. Because Yagyu Satoru is really strong, every time the 7th squad met an enemy that was completely invincible, Lu Xingyu could calmly deal with it. It's so troublesome. Hatake Kakashi scratched his head, with a distressed attitude, and secretly sighed in his heart, thanks to Mr. Lu Xing who took the initiative to take over the gang from the 7th class. If he is allowed to manage the 7th class, he will be exhausted sooner or later. What's more, Sasuke and Naruto can be trained well. These two top problem children can even teach Naruto Rinnegan. Mr. Lu Xing's method is indeed too powerful. Might Guy nodded in satisfaction and said, treat each other as rivals, this is youth. Oh. Shihihong sighed, and silently complained in her heart, everyone around me seems to have a problem. At this point, the other side calls. 1 minute has passed, when are you going to do it? Yagyu Satoru took a sip of the lollipop, put his hands in his pockets with a calm attitude, with a frivolous smile on his face, and looked at the scorpion of Mozen in front of him. He didn't attack first, and the Scarlet Sand Scorpion didn't attack first either. The Scarlet Sand Scorpion was wary of him. 98, #039, am tired of watching your comedic tricks. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There's no need to be so vigilant, am I scary? Yagyu Satoru asked lightly, or, do you want me to attack you first? That he knew the weakness of the Red Sand Scorpion. If he made the first move, he would be able to kill the Red Sand Scorpion in an instant. If that's the case, then how can you let the stinky brats in Class 7 watch the battle between the Kage-level powerhouses? Siadana, are you alright by yourself? Yes. Deidara stepped on the dragon, hovered in the sky and looked at the Red Sand Scorpion below. He didn't plan to make a move, because the people in Zhao's organization were all strong, and they rarely attacked one person together. After the Red Sand Scorpion is defeated, he will attack Yagyu Satoru. It's so troublesome, so I hate the weak, so it's okay for you to play together. Yagyu Satoru said, after all, I once had the highest record of 5 players in one night. You kid with a hippie smile, then do as you wish. The Red Sand Scorpion stared at Yagyu Satoru vigilantly, and said in a hoarse and low voice, Deidara, you go and deal with everyone over there. While protecting the weak, while being my enemy, even you will be distracted, right? Although the Scarlet Sand Scorpion knew that Yagyu Satoru was very powerful, he had never seen Yagyu Satoru come out, so just in case, 050 sent Deidara to deal with Yuehong and others, so as to distract Yagyu Satoru. There are new audiences, let's witness my art together. Deidara formed Madra with one hand, controlled the clay dragon, and flew towards Yuehong and others in the distance. It doesn't matter who the enemy is, he just wants to cause an explosion. Eternity is the most beautiful art, and the life of a puppet is infinite. I will use the toys in your eyes to prove the charm of a puppet. The Red Sand Scorpion moved slightly with both hands. 100 puppets attack Yagyu Satoru at the same time. Distracting my attention. Very smart judgment. Yagyu Satoru ignored the puppet and looked at Divola in the distance. All the puppets held weapons and fiercely slashed at Yagyu Satoru, but the attacks of all the puppets stopped in front of Yagyu Satoru as if they were still. Yagyu Satoru stomped slightly on the ground. Boom! The ground shook violently, and between Yuehong and Deidara, a huge crack appeared on the ground, just like a dividing line. What does this mean? Deidara was slightly taken aback. The dragon suddenly stopped in front of the crack, and he looked doubtfully at Yagyu Satoru below. Give me, bide, face, they are my students, and the nympho who loves me. Yagyu Satoru smiled faintly, looked at Deidara in the sky, and said, what is in front of you is the dividing line. I crossed the line will be angry. You're a nympho. In the distance, after hearing Yagyu Satoru's words, Yuehong had a hint of shame and anger in his eyes, and gave Yagyu Satoru an angry look. Haruno Sakura stared blankly at Yagyu Satoru, and muttered, Teacher Lu Sheng, so handsome. Strong and confident, even use a dividing line to threaten the real Kaga level strong, she felt that this calmness was really handsome. Who do you think you are? No one can stop my art, eh? Deidara's face darkened, with anger in his eyes, and Jingxiangyu Hihong and others who were controlling the dragon to cross the dividing line quickly. Yagyu Satoru really takes himself seriously. How dare you threaten him? Lightning style, pseudo-darkness. Yagyu Satoru put his hands in his pockets, and spit out a bolt of lightning from his mouth. After the lightning landed, it became a piece of electricity like a huge wave, and quickly blasted Deidara. Boom! Thunder and lightning flew over like a huge wave, directly engulfing Deidara, and the C2 dragon was directly cut into countless pieces by the lightning. Deidara fell heavily to the ground, his whole body was cut by lightning, there were countless small wounds, and scarlet blood flowed. Wooing. Deidara looked ugly, with an expression of disbelief, looking at Yagyu Satoru who was calm and passive in the distance. This kid with a hippie smile didn't get a seal just now, right? Why can lightning style be instantly cast without seal? And still. With chakra nature transformation, class A lightning style, false darkness. Is it because of the blood inheritance limit? Smelly brats, pay attention to the details, lightning style restrains earth style. Yagyu Satoru looked at everyone in the 7th class, pointed to Deidara and said, after he is hit by lightning style, the detonating clay will become meaningless clay 1. There is still time to teach. The red sand scorpion felt that he was being ignored, and his face was still expressionless, but he was angry in his heart. Magnet style sand iron triangular pyramid, that the red sand scorpion's fingers moved slightly, and the 3rd Kazekage puppet formed a seal. Boom! The ground trembled violently, and sand and iron rose up like huge waves, forming a triangular pyramid the size of a rock mountain. The triangular pyramid smashed heavily towards Yagyu Satoru, its weight was at least several tons. Don't rush to die, you still have 2 minutes. Yagyu Satoru raised a finger, and the huge triangular pyramid hovered in front of his finger as if still. Bang took Yagyu Satoru as the core, and cracks appeared on the ground, but only the place where he was standing was intact. Is the blood successor limit of defense? No wonder you can be so calm. The red sand scorpion was slightly startled, staring at Yagyu Satoru firmly. What is Yagyu Satoru's blood inheritance limit? It can defend against puppets, and it can also defend against sand and iron. Could it be that no attack can hurt Yagyu Satoru? If this is the case, the group relationship will become troublesome. Defense? You guessed wrong, it's infinite. Yagyu Satoru teleported and disappeared, appearing in front of the red sand scorpion. There is an infinite distance between you and me. Yagyu Satoru raised 2 fingers, likening a fingertip universe. Physical attacks and natural attacks cannot cross the distance of time. Certainly, if it can reach the speed of light, that's another story. To cause harm to him, hallucinations and spatial abilities are required. To live is to fiddle with the air that needs to be breathed. So fast, is it time and space? The red sand scorpion moved its fingers slightly, just as it was about to control the sand and iron for defense. It's wrong again, it's shortening the space between you and me. Yagyu Satoru raised his hand, and lightning appeared in the palm of his hand, breaking towards the heart of the red sand scorpion. Anyway, get out, I'm tired of watching your comedic tricks. Even if you try to be brave, it has no teaching value. The blue electric current flashed past, Yagyu Satoru's hand penetrated the heart of the red sand scorpion. OM. The heart of the red sand scorpion was cut into several pieces by the lightning, and the scarlet blood sprayed out. All the blood seemed to be still, hovering in front of Yagyu Satoru. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down. 99. Deidara reveals that Payne was cheated. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How is it possible? My art is eternal. The red sand scorpion fell to the ground. Although his face was expressionless, there was an unbelievable meaning in his tone. He was very unwilling to die like this. He wants eternal life, and the company he will never leave. Following the death of the red sand scorpion, all the puppets fell to the ground one after another as if they had lost their lives. Seconds. Everyone present looked at the red sand scorpion, who was completely dead, a member of the Akatsuki organization, a real Kuga-level expert, died so casually. The red sand scorpion has strong offensive means, but almost zero defensive means, and the weaknesses are too obvious. Siadana, I will pray for you in front of the Buddha, Deidara was stunned, looking at the dead red sand scorpion with a trace of color in his eyes. He has a freewheeling personality, but he respects the red sand scorpion very much, because the red sand scorpion is also an art genius. Aren't your fireworks ready yet? Yagyu Satoru tilted his head, pointed with a lollipop, and smiled lightly at Deidara in the distance. Hurry up if you want to set off, I'm in a hurry to have a sweet time with Xiaojiang. It's a date. Fireworks. Explosions are the supreme art. Negiate my art. I will never allow people like you, Deidara put his hands into the leather goods with a very excited attitude, and bit the clay in his mouth. No matter who the enemy is, you must think calmly. Calmness is the prerequisite for victory. Yagyu Satoru looked at everyone in the 7th class, pointed to Deidara and said, don't learn from him. Especially you, fox brat. Yagyu Satoru glanced at Uzumaki Naruto, who in Class 7 Uzumaki Naruto, was the most irritable brat. Cut. Uzumaki Naruto turned his head with a very unhappy attitude. What's so cool about you? Deidara's forehead had blue veins, and his eyes were burning with anger. In his mind, the picture of being seconded by Uchiha Itachi in the past appeared in his mind. Yagyu Satoru and Uchiha Itachi have the same attitude. They all have an attitude of condescension and contempt for everything. It's all an attitude of not paying attention to his art. What are you kidding? Explosions are perfect art. People like you, disgusting, both you and Uchiha Itachi are disgusting. Deidara raised his hand, and a stick of clay resembling a doll was spit out from the mouth of the palm. Uchiha Itachi. Do you know Uchiha Itachi? Uchiha Sasuke's complexion changed drastically, and because of his excitement, 3 Tomo Sharingan emerged, staring at Deidara firmly. In front of my art, I will never allow your unhurried attitude. Deidara ignored Sasuke, but with an excited and crazy expression on his face, he stared at Yagyu Satoru. Come on, let you, die on my art. Deidara stepped on the dragon and flew into the sky, throwing the clay doll in his hand down, *C4, Garuda. After falling to the ground, the puppet swells, turning into an appearance similar to Deidara, and finally swells to the world like a hill. This is a move he specially developed to defeat Uchiha Itachi. The clay spider, which is invisible to the naked eye, will spread into the air of the audience. When people breathe in, they inhale the spider, which then destroys the cells from within. Terrible moves. A tiny spider, start from the air. It's still a smart behavior. Yagyu Satoru looked at the infinitely expanding C4 Garuda through the passivity of the 6 eyes. He was able to see that inside Garuda, there were nearly 100 million small spiders, the size of which was almost the same as that of cells. If he inhales it, it will indeed be dangerous. Yagyu Satoru glanced at the distance, and everyone in the 7th class said, all attributes are mutually exclusive. No matter what moves he uses, they all belong to the range of earth attributes. Smelly brats, keep your eyes open. This is Sage Mode. Dark red patterns appeared in Yagyu Satoru's eye sockets, and a huge chakra full of life force exuded from his whole body. Yagyu Satoru is wearing a blue thunderbolt, forming a thunderbolt cloak, clapping his hands to the ground. Sage Art, Massive Rasengan. In the palm of Yagyu Satoru, a light blue chakra emerged, and a large piece of lightning was contained in the chakra, and finally the Rasengan became very huge. Drink! Deidara yelled, the hill-like Garuda glowed, and then a violent airflow erupted, and countless tiny spiders flowed with the air. Yagyu Satoru threw the super big jade, lightning-style Rasengan to Garuda in the distance. Boom! After the lightning-style Rasengan landed, it formed a large, barrier-like lightning electromagnetic field, covering all the small spiders. With the disappearance of the lightning electromagnetic field, C4 Garuda also disappeared. The breeze blows, nothing happens. What happened, that everyone present was stunned. Just now Deidara used a humanoid detonating clay that looked terrifying, then Yagyu Satoru went into Sage mode and dropped a Thunder Rinnegan, then detonated the clay and nothing happened. Wait. Sage mode? Lu Sheng, can you actually use Sage mode? Yuhi Hong's beautiful eyes gradually widened, her pretty face was full of disbelief, and she looked at Yagyu Satoru in a daze. She has heard of Sage mode, which is a special natural energy area that can only be used by very few people in the whole ninja world. If you want to learn Sage mode, you need a huge amount of chakra and super control, otherwise, natural energy, and its own chakra, will repel each other and cause self-explosion. But Yagyu Satoru is, when did he learn Sage mode? Not to mention the sunset is red, even Kakashi and Might Guy were shocked. Is this genius? Yagyu Satoru released the Sage mode, pointed to the pothole in the distance, and said with a light smile, "Look, the firework man dropped a dud again. This is the effect of attribute mutual restraint. He uses Sage mode, which is to perform for Naruto again." Lightning style Rinnegan was also there, performing for Uchiha Sasuke. After all, these little kids will want to become stronger after seeing the power of things. Everyone in the 7th class seemed to understand, but at least they understood that if Yagyu Satoru had not used the thunder attribute Rinnegan just now, then Garuda would explode. Is the attribute restraint? Haruno Sakura wrote it down seriously. She thought to herself, after the teacher Lu Sheng, she just fought with Deidara. The chakra attribute restraint seems to have a great effect in the battle between ninjas. Yagyu Satoru teleported away, appeared in the sky, and kicked Deidara's head. Bang! Deidara was kicked far away, and after several laps in the air, Deidara sank into a rocky mountain. Ahem! Deidara spat out a mouthful of blood. He ignored the pain all over his body, but grabbed his face with his hands and looked at Yagyu Satoru in disbelief. Is that art? How can this be? I don't admit it, never admit it. Don't be kidding, I'm the one who is the best. Explosion is perfect, it's an art that never loses. Deidara's expression was ferocious, and her emotions almost collapsed. Obviously I am good, how could I lose, how could it be possible? Deidara had a hard time accepting that he lost to Yagyu Satoru in terms of art. In his eyes, C4, Garuda is the most perfect work of art, but it was easily resolved by Yagyu Satoru with one blow. You were beaten, stupid. Why are you talking about it? Yagyu Satoru took out a lollipop, unpacked it and threw it into his mouth, looking at Deidara in the distance with a disgusted expression on his face. The people present were speechless, and Deidara looked a little pitiful in the state of being beaten. Yagyu Satoru and Deidara, who is the villain? Your indifferent and calm attitude, didn't my perfect art move you? Deidara was breathing heavily, his emotions had completely collapsed, and with a ferocious smile on his face, he threw Homyun's robe aside. Ask for flowers. Akatsuki will die if you undress. Haven't you heard of this curse? Yagyu Satoru joked. My ultimate art, now I'm going to blow myself up. Deidara's ferocious smile was accompanied by a sense of madness. The flesh and skin of his whole body gradually became transparent, and all the chakra flowed to the heart. Life and death I will turn into art. This is an explosion that has never been seen so far. This land will leave scars that have never been seen before. And my art will be praised like never before. In this way, you are dead. Deidara's whole body inflated like a balloon, and the huge chakra emitted caused a gust of wind in the area. The radius of the explosion is 10 kilometers, let's see where you flee, Come. Tremble. Marvel. Despair. Cry. My art is, to explode. Deidara swelled to the size of a hill, and his whole body exuded milky white light. He risked everything to prove that his art was the most gorgeous existence, even if it is a gamble of life. Yagyu Satoru must be moved by his art. The current situation, does it make you feel uneasy? Deidara smiled wildly, and his whole body was still swollen further. 10 kilometers. This guy is crazy. The faces of everyone in the audience changed drastically, and a trace of fear appeared in everyone's eyes. if what Deidara said is true, then with their strength, there is no way to withstand a 10-kilometer explosion. Lu Sheng, get out of there quickly. Yui Hong's pretty face was full of panic, and hurriedly ran to Yagyu Satoru, and then grabbed Yagyu Satoru's hand, planning to take him away. I advise you to save yourself, even if you risk your life to blow yourself up, it doesn't make any sense. Yagyu Satoru didn't move, sipped the lollipop lightly, and looked at Deidara lightly. His unlimited power can completely defend against Deidara's final self-destruct. What's more, in one breath, he can move Deidara elsewhere. Lu Sheng, do you have a way to stop him? Shirihong asked hurriedly. Even if she is lying now, because of the 10-kilometer explosion, its power is definitely not a child's play. If you want to explode, I will appreciate your final work. Yagyu Satoru put his hand on Deidara's abdomen, and then disappeared out of thin air with Deidara. In the distance, Range Shinobi Village, Yahiko is standing on a high place, overlooking the whole Range Shinobi Village. Yahiko, Konan, I will let the ninja world feel an unforgettable pain. Yahiko made a hoarse voice, but in fact, the whirlpool Nagato was manipulating him to speak. Only by experiencing pain, feeling pain, and understanding pain can there be true peace. Suddenly, Shwa Yagyu Satoru appeared out of nowhere, and Deidara, whose body had swollen to the size of a hill, appeared with him. Are you Yagyu Satoru? Tiandao Yahiko looked at Yagyu Satoru in the distance with a blank face and a very cold attitude, and then he was slightly taken aback when he saw Deidara. Yagyu Satoru looked at Yahiko in the distance, smiled and said, before causing pain, let's feel the nuclear level first. I'll leave it to you, bye. As soon as the words fell, Yagyu Satoru disappeared out of thin air. No one can stop it, the current state of Deidara. There's no point in blowing yourself up to get to the endgame, even lightning style. Boss? Deidara's smile froze, looking at Tiandao Payne in the distance. He was a little confused. Tiandao Payne looked confused, looking at the infinitely inflated Deidara. A trace of panic flashed in his Rinnegan. Deidara is blowing himself up. Self-destruct in Range Shinobi Village. Self-detonation at the Akatsuki organization base. This Yagyu Satoru is very good at cheating. Bang! Deidara exploded completely after glowing. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets, kneel down, 1. Beg. 100 When was my Conan ever molested like this? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Boom! The ground trembled violently, covered with milky white light, and a whole 10 kilometers of land formed a strange picture like a pie daxing. In the milky white light, everything vanished into ashes. This blow is comparable to the power of a small nuclear power. The people in Range Shinobi Village were stunned. They immediately thought that God, Pen, was punishing the ninjas in Range Shinobi Village. Wow, it's really powerful. Yagyu Satoru squatted on the top of the black tower, put his hands on his eyebrows and looked at the pie daxing formed by the mountain-like light in the distance. At present, in the entire ninja world, except for the ability of the tailed beast, there is no move that can match the power of Deidara's self-explosion. In fact, Yagyu Satoru has a few tricks, which can match or even surpass the power of Deidara's full self-destruct. That is to compress the natural energy and combine the reversed positive and negative forces to form an antimatter energy cannon comparable to tailed beast bomb. The wind stopped and the light disappeared. On the ground of Range Shinobi Village, there is an oversized 140-shaped pothole flowing with lava. In short, you have $1 million, let's go back. Yagyu Satoru clasped his hands together, and was just about to activate the power of no limit, when he teleported to Yui Hong and others. Paper shuriken. The shuriken formed by more than a dozen lines of paper turned and slashed towards Yagyu Satoru like a living thing. After being compressed by chakra, it became harder than steel. Yagyu Satoru raised a finger, and all the paper shurikens hovered in front of his raised finger. Paper. Do you want me to burn it for you? Yagyu Satoru looked lightly at the dozen or so paper shurikens floating in front of his fingers. Yagyu Satoru looked sideways, evidence of the sky in the distance. What catches the eye is, a glamorous Yugia, her light blue-purple hair, combed into a ball and tied behind her head, even wearing a red cloud coat. it is difficult to conceal her tall figure, with a rubber nail inlaid on her navel. The face is delicate and the skin is very white, her temperament is indifferent, like a flower of high mountains, white tiger of dawn, angel of rain shinobi village, Konan. At this time, Konan had a pair of white paper wings behind him, looking down on Yagyu Satoru. Indifferently. Destroy you is God's order. Konan waved the wings behind him, throwing countless paper shurikens from the wings, and the mighty shurikens rushed towards Yagyu Satoru like a heavy rain. Vortex Nagato sent him to test Yagyu Satoru's strength. Akatsuki still likes to play role-playing. Yagyu Satoru didn't move, the heavy rain of paper shurikens hovered in front of him like a still. No matter how many numbers there are, it is meaningless, because any physical attack cannot cross the infinite time. Is your blood successor limited? Since you have such a strong power, why indulge the ninja world? Konan saw that the attack was useless, and his mood did not change. He looked at Yagyu Satoru below with a flat expression. She has experienced countless wars since she was a child, and seen countless times of life and death, but she has no idea. Nagato and Yahiko want to change this ninja world full of war and hatred, and create a world without war, and her dream and ambition is to fulfill the dreams of Yahiko and Nagato. Don't talk nonsense, I'm not interested in discussing the truth with you. Yagyu Satoru disappeared out of nowhere and appeared in front of Konan. It's other people's business whether they live or die. He has no interest in creating a world without war, he just wants to live a normal life with Tsunade. It's so fast. Konan's heart trembled, holding the kunai made of paper in his hand, he slashed towards Yagyu Satoru's neck. The sharp paper kunai stopped still in front of Yagyu Satoru's skin. Konan thought to himself, from the beginning any attack, there is no way to touch Yagyu Satoru. This man's blood inheritance boundary is a very troublesome ability. It is very similar to the masked man's ability, but it seems to be better than the masked man's ability. We have no enmity, so why be so hostile? It would be nice to have a good chat. Yagyu Satoru was suspended in the sky, bent over with one hand in his pocket, and the other hand touched his chin, looking at Konan's navel nail. Speak. You're quite unorthodox, you're such a good skin for nothing. Yagyu Satoru raised his hand, stroking Konan's navel nail. Konan has lip nails and navel nails, and also plays angel role-playing, which is quite a non-mainstream, but the appearance is very beautiful, and the appearance outweighs all shortcomings. Non-mainstream? Konan didn't understand the meaning of this sentence, but her navel was stroked by Yagyu Satoru, and she felt offended by the frivolity. Don't touch me. Konan frowned slightly, and a large detonation talisman split out of his body, and all detonation talismans covered Yagyu Satoru's whole body. Accept God's punishment. Konan flapped his wings and flew back while clasping his hands together. Bang covered Yagyu Satoru, and the detonating talismans all over his body exploded, forming a large expanse of extinction with burning black smoke in the sky. Cough, cough, choked to death. Yagyu Satoru raised his hand, fanned the thick black smoke, looked at Konan with disgust, and said, "You are in your 20s, and you still play these games all day long." Small means. It's useless. Konan's face was moved, and a trace of surprise flashed in his eyes. She didn't see the seal of Yagyu Satoru just now, which means that Yagyu Satoru's defensive ability like an invisible wall is automatically activated. If this is the case, then Yagyu Satoru may become the biggest obstacle to the dreams of Nagato and Yahiko. Give up the boring dreams, people can't become gods, the darkness in people's hearts is great. Yagyu Satoru teleported and disappeared, appearing behind Konan, holding Konan's hands with one hand, and pinching his chin with the other. Don't play house. Yagyu Satoru pinched Konan's bust, whispered a very erotic voice in his ear, "Do you like it very much? I can help you bloom very kindly." 17. Konan's delicate body trembled slightly, a trace of shame and anger appeared in his eyes, and he said coldly, "Let me go." That she has never experienced such a thing, and it is the first time she has encountered such a frivolous and outrageous enemy. She has never been molested since she was a child. In the past, she was an angel in Rain Shinobi Village. No one dared to moles her verbally or even with her hands. Don't be so excited, let's get along well. Yagyu Satoru's fingertips followed Konan's flat belly, sliding down slowly. I'm going to be the support, the pillar for both of them. You are darkness. In a world without light, any flower can only wither. Konan burst out all chakra, and countless pieces of paper blasted fiercely at Yagyu Satoru like sharp blades, but all the pieces of paper hovered in front of Yagyu Satoru's skin as if they were still. I've never seen your 5.7 before, the special blood succession limit. Konan was slightly taken aback. Any of her moves couldn't hurt Yagyu Satoru's blood successor boundary, rather than being strange, should be described as weird. Want to know? It's okay to tell you, the distance between you and me is infinite, which means you can't touch me. Yagyu Satoru bit Konan's earlobe lightly, and said softly with an evil smile on his face, but I can touch you as I like. P.S. Ask for flowers, ask for monthly tickets, ask for evaluation tickets. Knelt down. The little author reads what someone said about Guy. Let me explain here. Might Guy's 7th gate is indeed very strong, but the red sand scorpion also has brains. How could it be possible to stand up and let Might Guy's second, so transfer the heart to let Guy's second puppet? The little author feels quite normal. 3. The young author's desire to survive.